What's
Yay!
happening, everybody? How's everybody doing? Little shred to start off the things today. Sounding good, sounding good. How's everybody hanging out there? Hope everybody's doing well. We've been busy here. A lot of stuff going on. Trying to get things done. We got a hell of a setup in here today, man. This is absolutely insane. There's so much stuff in the control room you can barely walk through here.
I've never seen so many buttons in front of me.
Trying to remember which one to turn on at the right time will be interesting. Oh, there we go.
Silence.
Got the new no coffee, no recording mugs, which means I've drank a lot of coffee because I live by that motto for sure. All right, today we're going to have a little fun. This is part of what's going to be an ongoing series, I think, about workflow ideas, setups, that sort of thing. Today we're going to go with some distortion pedals, different kinds, that sort of thing. We're going to play to the track, do some rhythm, some solos, different things, just kind of get a vibe for some different types of distortion, why it may be good, why it maybe isn't good, and why even maybe a good or a bad pedal isn't such a bad choice. Does that make sense? A bad pedal?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
In my head, all this makes sense all the time.
Yeah.
Which probably means it doesn't make sense to anybody else most of the time.
Yeah, good or bad depends on the application. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So a good pedal can be crap in another situation. Yeah.
Alex said, but why would I want to practice guitar to get proficient when I could just buy another pedal instead? That's my motto right there. That's why I don't even practice guitar. Bad choices are always the best ones. Pretty much so. They're always at least the most fun. Maybe not the best choice, but at least the most fun. That's for sure.
So yeah, so obviously we have to clarify like why we have what we have. You know,
exactly.
Why do we have all these pedals here? So why don't you have this one? Well, first we gathered the best that was trying to make a point with it, and the second reason is like, well, I don't have all the money in the world to just buy all the available distortion pedals, which are probably like over 300. So different ones. If you just look at how many Boss pedals are just for distortion, and then all the boutique stuff, forget it.
Yeah, we watch a lot of the guy from JHS who talk about owning all the pedals. Holy crap, that guy's got everything.
Yeah. Behind him, you see, it's almost like a rainbow of pedal colors. You know, it's like
it's awesome,
amazing. But yeah, I mean, so sorry if I'm not covering the brand you want to see, but it is what it is. I mean, at least these pedals are very different sounding to get a point across. It's like, what are you gonna get out of pedals like these? So. It's just a small portion of what's out there.
Well, but these are also ones that we use a lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're starting with, is the stuff that we've got a lot of mileage out of. It's not that these are the only choices or even the best choices sometimes, but it's the ones that we've been able to tweak in one way or another through all the different sessions we've done and get the tones that, we want for that particular song. And I'm sure, I have no doubt, we're going to get some recommendations for more pedals today. And my reverb list is growing. I actually ordered the the Electro Harmonix OD glove that was supposed to get in yesterday, and they didn't ship it until yesterday, so it didn't get here in time. So I'm waiting on that one too.
So, and before you guys freak out, this DS1, which is considered probably the worst.
They haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't shown it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Here, you know what? Let me cut the key in. Hold on a second.
Yeah. So yeah, let them see what the hell we have here.
Actually, I'll go to the big shot.
Yeah. So before you guys freak out and say, "Oh my God, how do you dare use a DS1?" Well, we all know that DS1, when you buy it stock, is probably the worst sounding distortion you can buy. I mean, I attest to that because when I got this, I have the same one, and it's not from this current generation of DS1s. It's like the older one, which doesn't have the printed circuit board. So what you can do with this old DS1, so probably from the 2000s or earlier, you can go in and clip certain resistors and then you mod it. So it's a very simple mod. It's online. We found it. It's 2 resistors you have to clip, and now it's like a hybrid distortion fuzz. Sounds amazing. So if you have one of these old DS1s, like from way back, try to do this mod because it's the best use you can get out of this simple pedal. You know, POC pedal, right? Which no, POS. POS
This
pedal.
pedal's a POS.
Yeah.
It's dynamite.
And then, so yeah, let's go through what we got here.
Here, I'm just going to get you up on the screen. 1 second. Let's go camera uno. All right. You're
Okay, so obviously the first one that we put in the chain was the OCD because it's, you know, typical overdrive function, you know, so you can always combine it with all the other distortions. So we just went with different type of distortions because overdrive is very it's too subjective, right? It's like sometimes the character that the pedal gives you is like not really that different for you to hear unless you're, you know, a genius that can hear every nuance in overdrives. But distortion is a little more obvious because since there's more overtones and everything, you know, gain factors, mid-range, high-end, and distortion is just more obvious. Overdrive is always very subtle. You know, it's I think it's more geared towards shaping either a very clean tone or shaping a distortion pedal. That's the way I see overdrives, you know, kind of as an add-on to overdriven distorted sound. That's the way I see. Some people
like
just
overdrives on drums.
yeah. So yeah, so it's a way to maybe shave off those transients, you know. That's what a tape does, right? Tape distortion, all that, it just shaves off stuff. So if it's too harsh, too much attack, put an overdrive in front of it, it'll smooth it out. But so everybody obviously knows the OCD. You know, it's a classic overdrive pedal. Everybody uses it. So that's first in the chain. So then I just grabbed this MXR Distortion 3. The way I used it was combining with a frameless head. It just gave me a crazy boost on that frameless head. So I used it a lot. Then this MXR 78 Distortion is kind of a take on that classic plexi, you know, Van Halen, that type of sound. And then the Bogner Ecstasy is just, well, there's a lot of buttons on it, so yeah, you can get lost in all the things that it does. But again, it's shaped.
That thing's as complicated as an actual head.
Yeah, but it has a boost knob, you know, and has all these. There's a variac setting, right? So you can make it sound even closer to that variac eddy sound. All these like a harmonic mid-range shift. So it's usually everything is in the mid-range, you know. So yeah, you can go crazy with all the options. And then so yeah, this is kind of like Marshall-y, right? Again, but it's probably a little more modern because of all the options. And the DS1, which is modded, right? So it's a hybrid fuzz. And then the good old EVH, which is, Jesus, if you really want modern distortion, you know, with that cut, can't go wrong with this.
I'm actually surprised how that competes with the head.
Yeah.
It's actually really similar.
Mm-hmm. And then this Black Star, which I think they don't make anymore, but it's the cool thing about this pedal. It has obviously the tube in it, so you know it looks amazing. Oh, it's got a tube in it. And then you have channel 1, channel 2, and actually no, let's call it channel 2 is the red one, right? And then channel 1 is the green one. So on channel 1, you have another button here which kills the drive on it, so it becomes really clean. And the cool thing about this pedal, which is the advantage of a honky piece of metal like this, is it has an emulated out. So we're not using it, but it has an emulated out, so you can go directly into your interface. So that'll be the maybe topic for some other videos. But that's the cool thing about this. And what does it sound like? Well, it's modern. So it's like, I would say, a modernized Marshall gainy thing.
I totally went to the wrong freaking. I'm in the wrong program doing it. I thought I was doing a sly switch right there, and I hit the wrong key.
So,
but yeah, we used to use that Black Star because the emulated out actually sounds pretty decent. So when you're tracking, we could have something in the headphones that resembled a pretty decent sounding guitar, and then we just take the DI and reamp later.
So we can go through these pedals, see with the basic A chord or whatever, see what it sounds like. But a lot of times that doesn't tell you how it's gonna sound against what the track. So
the context is everything.
Yeah. So that's the more subjective aspect of all these pedals. Like, how do they work against a track?
Obsidian says that he says, "Dude!" ! Love that. My 1980s DS1 is my go-to. Put a DS1 in front of an SD1 that mimics a slightly overdriven amp, and bam, heavenly tone.
There you go.
I actually like the DS1. I use it quite a bit. I'm not ashamed. I use a 3630 on a lot of things too, and a freaking MIDI verb. So I'm not afraid to use cheap stuff.
The most amazing thing that happened with this DS1 is when you cut those two resistors, the actual output of the pedal goes up tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Before you would say, "Is this how loud this pedal gets?" It was kind of like, huh? And then we cut those two resistors, and then it's just like, whoa. But yeah, so what? Should we just?
You want to just go through them?
Yeah.
You want to do it just solo first?
Yeah. So
I'll kill the reverb.
So here's a cleano tone, right? I guess that we have a tube in the live room, right, with a 4x12. And
yeah, it's just a 4x12 with the PR30 just slightly outside the dust cap.
Yeah, and just put on clean. That's what it sounds like. And I can even go single coil on this. So for you single coil lovers, I can test that as well. So we'll just go. Let's just go with this guy, right, which is a very unique tone. Almost reminds me of Brian May, you know, that really very, very kind of warm. Okay. And as you can see, the way the knobs are, I got the tone. So it has tone. The distortion is all the way up. So I'll back it off. So it can function as an overdrive as well. So if you don't want so much. So very smooth, right? Very, very creamy, I would say. Okay, then this 78 distortion probably gonna be nastier, because Marshall cranked. So the low end is way different, kind of that thick. So let me back off the distortion. Very So it's not really a tight low end. That's usually what all those old plexis are all about. It's the low end is kind of like. So you're probably not gonna play that kind of stuff on it, but then you got there's another button here, which is a low end boost or low mids.
I like that one.
It's kind of like, what is that? 400 to 600.
It's full, man.
Gets more like that.
Yep. Much rounder.
But you can kind of hear a little fuzziness, right, in the tone. Not really that tight and sharp, you know. All right, so that's that. Then let's go to the Wagner. So on the Wagner, we got like a souped up Marshall, right? I mean, I got everything pretty much on 12 o'clock. Now, if I move this thing this is kind of cool, the Variac, right? Obviously brings the volume down because that's what happens when you use a Variac, the volume goes down. But it gets more compressed, see? So I can really play, you know. Right, so it's that sound, you know, like.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. Can't wait to do that one. And then we got good old DS1, but modded. All right, this is not off the shelf. This is modded, just clippers, right? Tuck, tuck.
Yep.
So. It's kind of cool with drop if you go drop.
Oh, that is cool.
See, where's my distortion all the way up? Here, all the way up.
That's a cool tone.
So yeah, DS1, man, it's freaking, now it's a great pedal. So if you want to do that mod, you need an older DS1. The new one won't do it because it's printed, so you cannot use clippers.
They're cheap too, so.
Yeah. And then EVH. So this is totally modern, right? So here you can really go into that whole. You know, like, what is it, the Ola says, right? Does it chug? Does it chug? It's like, yeah, it chugs, man.
That's another great channel.
All right, so yeah, you can really, and gain, you know, it's not all the way up, but the coolest thing about this pedal, it has a gate.
And the noise gate works really well.
Look at that.
Now play some chugs.
You see how gradual it is. Amazing, right? It's an amazing gate. So yeah, so it cleans up nice, right? So it's really a great overall distortion sound. You know, it's just. It's great. It's great for that. If you really use your volume a lot, which I do for that cleanup, it cleans up nice. Nice. All right.
We're having some wonderful YouTube buffering issues over here.
Man, I always forget that I'm drop D, and then I go to a note, and it's like a different note. It's like, oh, that's not what I meant.
All right, what's up next?
Let's do the MXR 78.
You ready?
Yep. So I backed off the distortion just to make it more obvious that
I like that pedal.
that it was a different setting, because it really is so different when you do this or when you crank the distortion and you're like, so way more unforgiving when you have less distortion. So he's you better play right. But you can really hear that fuzziness in it, like really loose attack,
I dig it. I like the character of that one. I like the way it cuts in the music. In context, too, it's got a nice cut to it.
All right, let's use the more Brian May type creamy distortion.
Brian Anthony said, reminds me of Joe Walsh.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Next.
Yeah, so very, very, very. I'll say, very neutral, right? It's like smooth and very. It's not gonna piss off anybody, It's like,
yeah, it's a little like
it's very soft. It's a soft tone.
It's got less character to me.
Well, yeah, sure, but I mean, it's great for these solos that don't have to compete with
with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So. Or sometimes just this would be also great for what? For chords, let's say a little more distortion, but that don't have any attack.
Oh yeah.
Let's wait. The drop D is a little
Tuning. Who cares?
So yeah, so it has a a softer.
That's
distortion.
cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So it has a use for that. But this one is because it's closer to that super overdrive or OCD tone. It's great to combine it with, let's say, a harsher pedal. So it's great for that. That's how I used it with the frameless head. I had it in front. I just cranked the output and put the distortion on 0, and tone was maxed out. But this output knob, that's another way you can use distortion pedals. It's like, don't crank the distortion, leave the distortion on 0, crank the output, and then there's your additional tube, preamp tube. That's how you do it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So people, put a DS1 in front of a JCM 800, which doesn't have a lot of distortion on its own until you put it on 20. So you put a DS1 in front, crank the output, and then there's that.
I've done that exact thing a few times, and it sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the DS1, since we were talking about it. Nice. It's windy outside.
That'd put me to sleep. I could sleep to that. I may have to take a nap right now. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Oh man, I got into it. But yeah, I mean, I had everything cranked here, so it was fun.
That pedal, I was riding the volume a little bit because it doesn't have it's so kind of round because of the mod that it gets a little lost. It needs a little help.
Yeah. Also,
But I like it.
I backed off the tone because it kind of gets a little nasty. So here, so you can hear it. Is that the tone? Because this is
It's
the
backwards from the other pedal.
Yeah, this is the only pedal that has everything backwards. So here. It helps if I turn it on. I mean, Jesus, talk about an effect, right? So yeah, so you have to be careful with that knob. So yeah, it's pretty ruthless. Yeah. Whoa. So yeah, be
Not my thing.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people, don't like the DS1 because that tone is pretty destructive. Yeah. All right.
But where it's at now, I mean, it's got it's very warm sounding now, which is cool.
Before I had the Distortion 3 going, that's why it was so noisy. So we had two pedals going. Hey.
That sounded good though.
Yeah. See, look at that.
Ooh,
Yeah. This one.
now it starts to act like a fuzz.
Yeah. But there you go. Yeah, so you can really hear that right, you can totally hear that in there, I mean, it's that sound,
Yeah, it is that sound.
So yeah, but this one is modded. So anyway, all right, let's go Black Star.
Oh, skipping the EVH for
Yeah,
okay.
let's leave the modern for the latest.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Yeah, so kind of fun, right? Has enough gain to help you solo. Also pretty round. It's a cool solo tone.
It cut well. I mean, I
Yeah.
actually brought the volume down just a hair
Mhm.
because it didn't need much to cut through.
So what are people saying? Any fun things people are saying?
Yeah, Alex, he's on a roll today. He's killing me, man. Oh, that's good. A lot of love for the 78.
Yeah, it's
And Obsidian said that the DS1 Waza version has very little hiss and much more headroom.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
We actually have the DS1X as well. And when we were setting up to do sound check and just going through all this to see what was actually going to
here.
what was actually going to make it,
Yeah,
that one ended up on the floor.
So we had this guy.
It
and
just
no bueno.
I've used it before and it's does its thing, but we were going through this today and it just didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean that's why the DS1 kind of knocked him out. So
We replaced the new with the old.
yeah. So all right, and now for the more modern lovers, right? We go EVH. So this is what that modern tone is. So
Ty's here. Ty's sound guy just showed up. He said, sorry he's late. He was just prepping a sound system for a football stadium.
whoa,
First big gig in months.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Well, now you can criticize these sounds. So
All right, we're going EVH?
yep.
All right, here we go.
So yeah, it's you know it's with the EVH it's just easy. You know, you just play and then everything sounds easy. You still have to know what you're doing, but it's just easy because it responds well to legato. Very very forgiving. It still has a lot of character. You know, it has more of that really clean. You can almost hear the string much more, right? It's like I don't know how to explain it, but especially especially when you go on single coil, for example, like. You can really hear the string, you know. It's like, I don't know. It just has a very, very unique tone.
Personally, I love that. I mean, that cut for me in context, it just cuts and sits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so easily.
Yeah.
Same with the head. I find the head to be the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just as you can see, treble is 12 o'clock.
Here, let's pull that up.
Because a lot of people think that the EVH is like it's very one-sided. It's like, well, no, because I would say that the controls are not really that they're not so drastically, because certain pedals, when you move one of the controls, tone or whatever, it's like really, it's almost like an active EQ. It really changes the tone drastically. But this one, I mean, not that much. In fact, let's bring this back a little bit. It's very subtle. See, I'm cranking the mids right now. Oh, they're almost off. So it's pretty subtle. So almost like an amp, a Marshall amp, where it's kind of passive,
So John asked if the EVH does something more to the mid-range harmonics, like that definition in the mids.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's whatever all these pedals do in their overtones. That's the key. That's usually the key. What, I mean, all that third order, I don't know, 10th order harmonics, all that stuff is like so complicated, but it's there. So
this is what Obsidian was talking about.
Yep.
So we have the non-Waza version of that. Sorry, I don't have the laptop hooked up to the broadcast, guys. I'd show you that. But look in the comments, Obsidian. The SD1W is the super overdrive, or the super overdrive.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's the Waza are just like souped up Boss versions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now how do you make this is for me.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these guys already probably know this, but how do you make the choice then if you're going to switch pickups? Is it based on kind of the distortion you're using, or is it purely just a artistic choice?
Well, there's a big difference between rhythm and lead. Big difference.
Well, that I know, but for lead, let's say lead specifically.
But for lead, it's artistic. So, some people like that glassiness of neck pickups. That. Which this one is more screamy.
Oh yeah, it's got a bite to it.
Right. So once you put distortion in. See, so it makes the solo more interesting. That's why guys like Richie Blackmore and Yngwie, you see them constantly tuck, they're switching like maniacs because they hear the sounds like, I don't like it, then switch it. I don't like it, and they switch, So it's a way to keep you interested in your own playing. So you switch. But I do it because of the effect. Sometimes in runs, right, the neck pickup just sounds very different than when I do the run with the rhythm pickup, So a lot of times it depends on single notes or runs, It's a tone thing, The more soloing you do, the more you get it. if you don't do soloings, you'd be like, why do you switch pickups so much? It's like, well, I mean, if you start soloing a lot, you get it. If you don't solo, it's like you don't see the point.
That's why I don't get it, because I don't solo that much. Should have heard my solo during sound check. I was doing some badass tapping.
Oh yeah, it was very Spinal Tap. Yeah.
That's an insult to Spinal Tap. How bad my tapping was, my lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what if it's rhythm though?
Well, in rhythm, especially the style will define what you're gonna do, pickup wise. The heavier you go, the less you're gonna use the neck pickup. It's that simple. So you're never gonna be chugging on the neck pickup. If you're chugging on the neck pickup, there's something wrong with you. So it's very
Even
very
if it's
simple.
slow chugs?
No, because it's not tight. See, the neck just gets boomy. I can show you. Here, let's go back to the. Oops. All right.
Oh, yeah.
This is like when you play like this. That means you've never heard yourself loud, you know. Because if you do this with a loud sound behind you, it sounds terrible.
Play some Metallica,
Yeah.
Megadeth riffs with that.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is like, it doesn't sound right, so you have to go here. Right, so
Oh, yeah, now you got the definition.
It's like, I mean, it is a cool, it's cool for experimentation, but it's not the norm.
Right.
So, yeah, the more you chug, the more you have to use bridge.
Interesting.
Yeah. And even for like big chords, like big distortion chords, staying on the. For example, you're never gonna do an AC/DC riff with the neck pickup. It's just like it's heresy. It's like you can't do that. It's like, you can't go. Sorry. See, he's like, what are you doing? It's like, right? It's like,
Oh, yeah, the definition's a hugely different.
so yeah, that's why, those are like unwritten rules, because I see that with the students also. They were like, why are you playing the Metallica riff on the because sometimes you have the Les Pauls that says rhythm, right? The pickup selector, it's a rhythm, and then it says treble. That was the old labeling on the Les Pauls, and they kept it. Nobody ever said, "Hey, put neck and then put bridge," but they just because in the old days that's what they did. They played the rhythm, jazz. Usually that's what they played mostly, and in the beginning of electric guitar, and then that treble was when they wanted to do some soloing,
Right.
So that's how it stayed there. But when you see a kid playing freaking Master of Puppets on the rhythm pickup, it's like, no, that's not the right rhythm pickup. It's the bridge. Go to the bridge. So yeah, it loses all the definition. What can you do?
So, I mean, for me, like the pedals, it's funny being a drummer. I mean, because every day I call you now with pedal questions. Hey, what about this pedal? Hey, what about this pedal? My reverb list of pedals that's my entire feed, except for maybe a couple old pieces, reverbs or something I'm looking at. But it's all just different flavor.
Yeah. Of course.
Because whether I'm using on drums or reamping guitars or something, sometimes it's cool just to try something different that maybe isn't the same old normal thing, or combine them.
But there's a difference between, like we said earlier, the difference between overdrive and distortion, because using distortion on drums sounds way different than using overdrive on drums.
Yeah, for that kind of thing, absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say that distortion.
Same with vocals.
Yeah.
Actually, I like overdrive better on vocals because you can push it and it still doesn't get too sloppy around the edges or harsh.
Distortion is I would say, it's more destructive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more destructive sound effect.
Well, it was interesting after modding the DS1. I've actually used that now on drums and on vocals, and it works.
Yeah.
It's really cool, actually, because it's not as, unless you have the tone all the way up, but
Yeah.
it's not quite as fizzy
Mm-hmm.
sounding. So it just adds some very cool grit and character. Same with the OCD.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
Sure.
the distortion's harder. I've tried the EVH a few times on drums and vocals. Holy crap.
No. It's way too aggressive. You know, the EVH distortion is way too aggressive
Mhm.
for what it's not meant to do. Yeah. So, but everything else, I mean, you can also combine things. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, I know. That's where
Yeah.
the rabbit hole, which
Yeah.
we'll try in just a second.
Uh-huh.
But John asked, what bridge pickups are in that guitar?
These are this is a plug for Lance, right? He makes these guitars.
Lance who?
Lance Alonso.
I thought you were going to say Lance a lot.
So he built this guitar and he winds these pickups himself. So they're basically a copy of a PAF. So low output, like 8 point something K, if you into that. So yeah, it's supposed to be like a PAF type of pickup, kind of clean. So it doesn't have a lot of output, and it's great for splitting. So yeah, this type of tone,
Very jangly.
it's hard to get with
Yeah.
with a humbucker, you know. So
Mhm.
that's why you know, for you single coil lovers, it's like I got it covered.
We actually he's got his telly here. We were going to demo that too
Yeah.
because it's such a thinner sound and how it reacts with the distortion pedals, but it just got to be a little mucho.
Yeah. But so, and that's another thing we can test now is with single coil sound, how all these pedals sound different.
Here, hold on. Before we get there, Alex
Yeah.
throws out a few pedals. It says sub 100. We're scoping out the EQD Plumes. I do not know that pedal.
Don't know that either.
The DOD Carcosa. The Rat, absolutely. The Proco Rat is freaking great. And I'm actually going to order one from Electro Harmonics I was looking at today, the Flatiron,
Yeah.
which is very similar to the Rat. It's like $70. I heard it and loved it. Yeah, the muff variants are cool. He says the MXR2 Diavolo.
Diavolo.
That's what I said. Just making sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, MXR has so many. It's crazy.
Yeah, the MXR is super badass. The Behringer SF300. That's the next one. One of the next ones on my list. I actually just ordered the Behringer. Oh, what was that chorus? I can't remember the model, but
Yeah.
it sounds so close to the Boss. So close to the Boss. What's the number you've got? The blue one?
Oh, the CE. No, the CH2, I think.
Yeah. Oh my lord, it was so
Yeah.
close. But having got it in the mail, it now that I have it, using it,
Yeah.
is that plastic like bends. If I was a touring or a gigging guitar player, I would never buy that pedal. It was $29. So we're gonna actually test that against the Boss now and see how it goes. What else? He had a couple of. Oh, the Mojo Mojo. Yeah, that's another one that Paul Gilbert loves. The Mojo Mojo. I'm looking at the Dark Matter too. There was some pretty cool stuff at the TE Dark Matter. Another one, the Fender Pug List. Said the Plumes. Okay, I gotta check this. I've never even heard of the Plumes, man.
There's so many out there. It's not even. It's hard to keep track.
Oh, and he says the Obsidian says the Fat Rat. You can always change the op amp too. Yeah, the Mojo Mojo. Yeah, some of that TC. I'm shocked at how good the Electro Harmonics. I mean, I've got there on their way, but that even the TC stuff, the demos I've heard, that stuff's cheap, man,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much stuff out there.
And it comes down to how well it's made after that. One thing I'll say about the Boss, the EVH,
Yeah.
especially that Black Star. Oh my lord, you could drop that stuff out of a 20-story building and it would still work. The Bogner's built well too, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, combinations.
So yeah, we can try. For example, we can try. Yeah, let's see what happens with the Wagner if we go and put the OCD in front, and maybe kill the drive. See what it does. I'm just using the volume of it. See a little more drive. See what it does. Oh. So maybe just
you can hear it compressing now. Here.
Yeah. More sustained, yeah.
Oh, you had to go there.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about that in context
Yeah.
is it lost its bite.
Yeah.
It got very flat.
Well, that's what all these overdrives do. You know, they shave off, but they give you way more sustain. So for soloing purposes, it you think you're amazing because it just got a little easier in terms of response.
It's a little sloppier there.
Yeah.
It's the articulation's kind of gone.
Yeah. So yeah, so if
I need that for my drumming.
and then for example, if let's say we add the MXR, which is a little creamier, so what we can try is get maybe the 78, right? So we use 2 MXRs in a row. And then let's put less distortion and look at this. Look how it changed it. Amazing. Look at this.
Holy crap, man. It tightened up the bottom a lot. Bit of a mid-range shift, too.
So this is great for soloing. So let's say you're, like. So that's why I used it on that head, because it was like a souped up. This is my Waza Super Overdrive.
Let's hear that context.
Okay. Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Way more articulate.
Yeah.
That was actually a really cool tone.
So yeah, it's a cool combo. So there's something about this MXR which I bought used. So I don't know. It's sometimes you have to experiment, combine, and say, "Oh man, this pedal doesn't have enough mid-range." Well, this one has, so combine it.
John, yes, that is the same OCD that you sold me. I totally forgot about that. I went and met him in Hollywood one day. I think it was in front of the it was over by what's the club off Vineland. I can't remember the name of it. Small club. Yeah, absolutely. Holy crap, that's funny. Everything taken. Yet the Black Star's a bitch. Hey, go over that. The Black Star is very. I'm gonna see if I can just say that over and over.
Yeah.
That's like English, dude. That's very versatile pedal.
Yes.
It does a lot more than just that one kind of tone that we were going through.
So yeah. Now what I can do is. So now it's like cleano, crunch. I mean, the gain is almost cranked on this, so. So it's great. I mean, it's pretty modern because that's what a Black Star sounds right now. When you buy a Black Star head, that's what it sounds like. So for rhythm, it's great. And then here's your lead. So yeah, it's just lots of gain in it. It's great. That kind of stuff for ages. So, but
and also on the lead channel, I find that one it's a nice blend of compression.
Yeah.
You know, with kind of helping you out a little bit, but not so much to where it takes the complete bite of the note away, so you can still hear the articulation, especially if you're playing fast.
And the EQ on this guy is basically everything is at 12 o'clock. But what all the Black Stars have, if you've never used a Black Star head or pedal, whatever, they have that ISF control, which is just a mid-range where they go British type or American type. So this is what happens. So this is supposed to be American, more close to Mesa Boogie. This is more like British, more Marshall, more honky, mid-range in your face.
It definitely mimics that.
Yeah. So I use it in the middle, best of both worlds, and there you go. So kind of cool. So, but everything else is 12 o'clock, so I'm not even messing with the rest. So that's another good indication of a great pedal. If everything's at 12 o'clock and they just change the amount of distortion, it's great because it's happening out of the box.
The germanium OCD. Oh man, my reverb list is. When we get done tonight, I'm gonna be follow this. Gonna be so many freaking pedals. Like crap.
And then let's see what the OCD does to the DS1.
Do it. That's interesting.
A lot of sustain. I mean,
all right. Ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean the amount of gain and overdrive that I had here was just sick. You can really hear it by the way it was just crushing the tone.
The sustain was, I thought, was really cool.
Yeah.
But once you started doing something, it like disappeared.
Exactly. So
I was trying to ride the volume, but it didn't help.
Yeah, no. So that's why you have to really experiment how you combine all these pedals because you don't want things to get really messy. Regardless,
and it depends on what you're playing too, you know.
But yeah, for that sustain stuff, it's great.
Yeah, that was cool for the sustain. I dug that.
So let's see what that same pedal does with my cheap OCD, which is the MXR Distortion 3. See, this one tightens it up a little bit. Can even do rhythms with this now. See, this is without it. Look at this.
Holy crap! What's it going to?
DS1.
And the Distortion 3?
Yeah. It's like a new amp.
It is like an entirely different amp.
Yeah. It chugs, man. Look at that.
That's pretty cool.
This DS1 with this guy, it chugs, man. But yeah, this is the original. It's amazing.
That's just the DS1.
That's with that. And then this is the MXR just by itself. See, it's amazing what the combination of pedals can do.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Oh, wait.
Ooh. That's cool.
Oh, it tightens it up, you know?
It also gets rid of some of what you're going to get rid of in a mix anyway.
Yeah.
Like on its own, you're like, oh, the bottom end is great until you pulled in with drums, bass, another guitar, and you're like, oh, crap, got to shave all that off.
I know. And then, yeah, so if you don't know what it was, this is just this guy. Look at this.
So that's just the Distortion 3.
Yep, that's all it is. So the key is what? I have no distortion going. That's the key. So as you can see, right, there's 0 distortion, but the output is, well, whatever. We can probably call it 60, 70%. And that's the key usually, you know? It's like, that's how this can really tighten a fuzzy tone, you know? You're like, wow, doesn't do much, right?
Until you combine it with the other pedal.
You're like, ooh, that's harsh.
Definition.
Is it?
It's a little fizzy for that riff, but yeah,
but I mean,
that's the idea.
It gets, you know, it really tightens it up. It's kind of cool.
Okay, a couple of things here. Let me look. Everything taken as any noise from the DC brick.
What about it? What?
Is there any noise from it? So is it clean? I'm assuming everything taken. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is it clean power? Is the power clean? Because you know some of them are the cheap ones introduce their own set of issues.
I think MXR has a more expensive one. This is just there's a heavier one which is bigger, which I think is like also an ISO brick or whatever they call it. This is, I mean, it works for me. It's not really that noisy, so I don't know if this is faulty or whatever it is, but it works.
Oh man, these are some great comments. I gotta read some of these. Yeah, I personally I have not I'm gonna get one of those as well because I have noticed that it's when we run everything through that brick as opposed to like I have a bunch of the they're back there, but the just wall wart ones.
Yeah.
Things tend to be a little bit cleaner through that.
Yeah. So.
Which is cool.
But yeah, I mean they have an ISO brick which is apparently like really isolated and all that stuff. But I bought this used, so works for me.
John, he made a Spinal Tap reference to when you were doing the sustain with the OCD and the Boss.
Of course.
Yeah, because you could go out and have a bite, and come back, and it would still be going.
Oh.
and Ty says, laugh out loud, it has Chipotle dinner sustain. Alex says, let's get some corpse paint on Ernesto and put him in some woods at night. Both nice so far. Everything taken says just got 2 cattle. What the heck? Catalan bread pedals? Catalan breed pedals? I've never even heard of that.
No.
It's a dirty little secret. All right, I'm gonna have to look that one up. Obsidian wants to have a shred off with you.
Oh, shred off, nice.
Maybe we can make that happen. Yes, everybody likes the 78. So far, I haven't seen one bad thing about the 78. There's just something about that pedal that's freaking cool. And Alex says that tone makes me want to run through a fucking wall. He didn't. He actually abbreviated. I said the full word.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's pretty cool. Let's see, combine this.
Oh, I see. Okay, so they're talking about the brick still. He said there's been some talk on forums about that DC brick being noisy. Man, I have not noticed that at all with that thing. Who knows? I mean, it's electronics, some quality control. Who knows?
A lot of times it really depends on the venue.
Yeah.
Sometimes the venue can be just noisy. You plug anything in and be like, so what the hell's going on? So it really depends on where you are and whatever the power outlet gives you.
Yeah, that's huge, actually. I mean, we've spent a fair amount of time here even going through different outlets, and we have 3 isolated circuits through the ISO in the live room and plugging into different power conditioners to see if they do anything, and most of the cheap Furmans and rack riders aren't really power conditioners. We took them apart. There's nothing inside them, So we've been experimenting with that a little bit and just trying to isolate grounds and whatnot. And so that it does have – we've even changed cables before.
Yeah.
And, when you've got some noise, especially if you've picked up a radio station or something like that, we've gone different cables, same exact length, and one will, have a radio station and one won't.
Yeah.
There's your shielding.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, sometimes some of these pedals would pick up a radio station. So,
yep.
So, you never know. But, yeah, I mean, geez, the combination can be great.
If you're running a bunch of pedals all at the same time, you're gonna get noise.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no, especially if they're distortion pedals and whatnot or overdrive pedals. There's no way around that. It's analog. It's nature of the beast right there. Just play louder than noise.
I mean, if you want to have noise, look. There's your noise.
Now it's officially an Ultimate Studios Inc. broadcast.
That's it. I mean, come on. I mean, there was even an actual pitch in the noise. I mean, that was awesome.
Obsidian, no transformers on the mains here. That's not coming out of the board. There actually is that. Those are transformer balanced, but we don't have any noise there, which is great. Alex is killing me. He goes, I have 2 massive pedal boards. No, I can't play. And clean power is a must for them. But stacking multiple pedals is the only way I can not sound like a waste of the instrument. Oh, that's great. All right, you guys. I think you got anything else?
No. I mean, this is basically show and tell was today. It was kind of fun. Yeah.
And this is the start of this kind of thing where I'm actually going to go through some of these pedals that you guys have been mentioning and see what's out there. We have a couple different workflow things coming up. I'm happy to announce, and I'm going to know more about this in the next week, but I've been in talks with Radial. They're sending some gear out right now, and I'm going to be joining the family there, which is very exciting. And we have a few pieces of gear that Ernesto and I have been talking about for some different recording workflows on the cheap side of things, but still getting cool tones, still having the ability to get different tones. We're going to be completely out of the box right now. It's going to be pedals. It's going to be amps or some sort. You could take all the stuff's concepts. You could easily go in the box with it, and we may do some of that at some point. But we're going to do more of this type of thing coming up, especially once we get some of this other gear with Radial, and we're also trying to get Jay over there to come on and talk to us as well. But they've been slammed through this whole coronavirus thing. And also the Matt Phillips, we will be doing the acoustic broadcast. Just something came up. We had to postpone it. I've been getting some of the feedback from you guys on the Facebook group. I have all that in a file. I've sent all that to Matt too. So as soon as I know a date when we're going to get to do that, I will let you know ASAP, because I'm still excited about that one. That's going to be really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
No, that was pretty
That was
much
about it?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of the broadcasts coming up. We don't know the order yet. We're going to get there. We are going to do a reamping thing. I finally built the L2A from DIYRE, which I was super stoked about. We got the JCR. We have the Little Labs. We're going to get another one. We're going to talk about, just hearing how those sound different, as well as if you're at home recording, watching your levels going in and that sort of thing. So we're going to go through all that stuff. We're going to do a big gear extravaganza here where we're going to pull up a session that I have a bunch of stems on. We're going to patch whatever you want here in. We're going to get a gear list of all the stuff we have. Ernesto's even going to bring a couple of his Rupert Neve choice pieces over, and we're just going to have a little fun experiment with the outboard and see what it sounds like on different things. We'll let you guys call that out. We're working on that coming up in a few weeks. The radial thing. I still feel like I'm forgetting something. I need to write things down, but I haven't. So see if I missed anything here.
Oh, and we're gonna probably gonna do the ribbon comparison.
Yes. Yeah, we're working on a ribbon comparison too, because ribbon mics are awesome. I'm just trying to get a few more of them.
Yeah, I gotta have a couple of those.
Yeah. If we're gonna do that, we may some of these we may do multiple times. As we get different gear, because we're sitting here for an hour or whatever. It's actually hard to go through every idea. I'd like to now take all these pedals and pull them up on the board and throw some room mics and snares and stuff through it and see what happens there. But we don't have time for that. Maybe I'll do that on its own at some point. And we have more pedals coming.
Crack.
Exactly. Distortion on a kit's pretty freaking awesome.
I know.
Gotta say.
You want to get that snare crack tighter? Put a DS1 in the Distortion 3. It'll be like chugging along. Yeah.
So we do have some things coming up. I'll try to get some sort of schedule. I'm also paying attention to everything you guys say in here, because there's good ideas. I mean, you guys are killing me today, man. There's some funny stuff. Ty says, plug Ernesto's finger into a dynamite. Kaboom. Oh, man, that's awesome. So anyway, you guys, thank you for joining us today. Hey, click the bell so you don't miss these. We're going every Tuesday. We'll probably end up going 3 weeks on, 1 week off every month now, until things change. We also have some stuff that we're working on concert-wise. I can't say much now. We're still kind of getting things set up, but we are working on some other special things here at the studio in between all the sessions that are happening at the moment. So, yeah, I'm going to stop right there. I'll say more about that later when I have actual details to give y'all. So, yep, Obsidian, it is Chipotle time. The M Thrasher, I said it's the L2A kit build. It's a reamp box from DIYRE. That's what I built. That was the easiest build I've ever done in my life, like 20 minutes, and I was done, and it worked the first time. I did buy this is what I wanted to say. I'm going to do another big DIY build, but I'm not going to film the whole thing because it can take forever. But I bought a pair of tape emulators from Sound Sculptor that I'm going to build. About 2 of them, because I thought that was a good idea for, running in pairs. And then I opened the box when they got here and went, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in here. So I'm going to start on those this week. It's going to take me a couple of weeks probably to get through them with everything going on. But we're going to be putting those to work pretty soon as well. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for shredding. That was pretty killer. And we will see y'all next Tuesday. Go join the Facebook group. I'll make sure to get you in right away or accept that, and we'll keep talking to each other throughout the week. All right, y'all. Have a good one.